Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Cook, owner of Cook Films, and today we're going to be talking about primes and zoom lenses. If you have a camera that allows you to change the lenses, you have two options to choose from. You either can choose a prime lens or a zoom lens. Which one is better? Which one do you use for which situation? There are several reasons why you would want a prime lens. One being that they have a lower aperture. That means that you can go ahead and lower the aperture to like a 1.4 versus a 2.8 on most zoom lenses. Now, a 1.4 is going to allow you to do several things. You're able to use it in low light situations so that you don't have to boost your gain on your camera, which makes everything really fuzzy and pixelated. And then you can also use a 1.4 aperture whenever you want something to be really shallow depth of field. If you really want to isolate an object or a person, you'll want to shoot at 1.4 so that they're in focus and everything in the background is going to be totally out of focus. It's going to be blurry. It's going to have that nice bokeh. Now, the problem though with prime lenses is they're only one length. You can either get a 24 or a 28, a 50 millimeter or an 85. And once you put that on your camera, there's no way that you're able to zoom in. Now you can zoom with your feet, meaning that you can move your camera up and back on whatever subject you're recording, and then that's going to give you that zoom. But having a prime lens almost makes you, some say, a better videographer because you're able to create the different looks by moving around your subject versus those who use a zoom lens tend to stay in one spot and they just zoom in to different locations and get the shot because it's a lazy lens and you're able to get everything from one location. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you're covering an event. If you're covering an event and you can't move around, a zoom lens is the way to go. You wouldn't want a prime lens. Zoom lenses are great for run and gun type of situations where you can't really change the lenses quite as often as you would if you were on another shoot that wasn't so time sensitive with the events that are going on. Zoom lenses are also, they're great because if you're on a budget and you really can only afford one lens, I would suggest probably getting a zoom lens. Now this is a 70 to 200. These are great for weddings. If you're shooting a wedding and you want to be able to be as far back as possible, you don't want to get in the bride and groom's way during the wedding, and you don't want to obstruct anything that's going on. So you would stay in the back and you would shoot with the 70 to 200. Most likely you would probably be at 200 at that point, but then you can move around and you can get different shots 70 to 200, which is great. You wouldn't want to do that with a prime lens. If you only had one camera, you wouldn't want to be switching back and forth with just one lens because then you're going to be missing a lot of the footage. Again, like I said, zoom lenses are great for when you don't have the chance to move around. If you're covering a particular event and you got to be stationary, a zoom lens would be the one to go. If you were shooting in low light and you needed that extra depth of field, a prime lens would be awesome to get. It would be a great way to. I personally like my primes because I'm able to zoom with my feet for the most part. I move around and get my shots the way I should, and I'm able to get that really nice clean image from the primes. The image in a prime lens is going to be far superior than that of a zoom because the zoom has so many different pieces of glass in between. They are getting better. There are some really great sharp lenses that are zooms, but for the most part, you're gonna, if you really want a really sharp image, a prime lens would be the way to go. I hope you guys found some things that were interesting. If you did, Feel free to share it with someone else, and I will see you next time.